Hey, you baldo, my brother. How you doing, my man? Well, it ain't beer 30, but we're gonna have some garage beer. If you don't know who's a part of this, is Jason and Travis Kelsey. Goddamn. Yep, my BFF. Hey, how we doing, man? So can you hear me good? Am I coming across? Kim's working, so I have no idea. Wish I would have shared this in Discord, but I didn't. Loud and clear. Right on, brother. That's all I want to hear. Loud and clear. That way I don't have to hit this, but well, hell, let's do it anyways. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. Well, I was going to originally title this Back to the Beginning. Mainly because it's being by myself, and when it's by myself, it is back to the beginning, back to the way this podcast originally started, when it was just used and abused a music podcast. All you got was just me. Except I never did live. I'm doing well, my man. Doing well. Glad you're doing well, brother. Let's see. Show on stream. There we go. Look at that. Oh, looky dear. Looky. Yeah, I'm doing great. It's just about 100 and probably I think 105, 106 today. Kind of a cool down. But yeah, no, we're just here to shoot the shit and just have a little fun. Try to get back into this a little bit. Hopefully, well, I think this Friday, Kim and I are going to come on live sometime in the afternoon. I want to say 2 or 3 o'clock our time. So it'd be 2 or 3 o'clock Pacific. Somewhere's in there. Mainly we're coming on to celebrate 11 years of being married. I don't know why the hell anybody would want to celebrate that, but we're going to. It's a good thing she's back there and not near me, which she can slug me. But then got a few things I want to talk about anyways. Yes, sir. Beat that heat. It is a hot one. Actually, we're technically in a cool down. Spencer, how you doing, my man? Welcome. Yeah, it's been a bit. I think I'll have another drink. Drinking some garage beer in case, Spencer, you want to know. Finally found this stuff here. It's actually really good. Kim likes it, which is amazing when you can find a beer a woman likes. So how's everybody been? I know you said you've been doing well. I've been doing good myself. Like I said, just trying to beat that heat, Hey, Tina, how's it over there in the 2 hours that way? 2 hours east of me. Oh, Lord. Oh, it's been hot. Like I said, today was a cool down. Crazy. I know ABC, or not ABC, Arizona family. I know they had to deal up about Phoenix getting hit some storms tonight. I didn't see. Well, I haven't looked at any radars to know. I know right now we are just friggin'. It's humid in the morning. Brings the dew points up, would scare me because still don't trust this damn AC. But it's working so far. Knock on wood. And but yeah. Anyways, hey Nicole. So earlier today, Sidebar Cantina, Dave and Jason did a show on the book Catalyst, which sounds like from them they highly recommend it. That's what I got from it, and it really does even bring in more into Andor and Rogue One, so it might be a book I might have to check out eventually. You know, unfortunately, right now I'm listening to about a 33-hour series right now. Yeah, like I said, Spencer. Yeah, Dave and Jason made it. You know, they sound like they really liked it, and it really a lot of the stuff happened in there actually leads up with Andor stuff. I still have not. So full confession, I have still not watched season 2 of Andor. I'm still stuck in season 3 of Stranger Things. I'm trying to think what else was I supposed to watch. I haven't watched. Um, did watch The Experts finally with Kimberly. She enjoyed it. She thought it was cute and funny. Sure hell took me back to the 80s. But speaking of the 80s, let's go back to 1973 real quick. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. I know Nicole has because she actually sent me and Kim a message about it. I saw it last week. But anybody see the cryptic messages from Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham? We'll come to find out. Oh, thank you, Tina. Okay. Oh, let me hit this right. Tina says season 2 of Andor is so good, Scott. All right. Yeah, I have to check it out. But I guess this I didn't know. Okay, so 1973, Lindsey or Buckingham Nicks came out, which was their only album together. And then shortly after that, they joined Fleetwood Mac. And as they say, the rest is history. Well, I come to find out that after all of their success with Fleetwood Mac, and then of course they're each both Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie having their solo careers, this first album by them has never, this 1973 album's never been released on CD officially. There are some bootlegs out there, but it's officially never been released on CD. A few of the songs have been released here and there. A few of the songs had actually been re-recorded by Fleetwood Mac also. However, the actual original first CD had never, or the first album never been released, re-released. It was actually, they called it a commercial failure. However, I got to take my glasses off to do this. Phone's right here. That's why we have this like little thing. So I can look at this crap. Anyways, July 17th, 2025, Nicks and Buckingham, through their social media, posted lyrics from their song Frozen Love, which appeared on the album Buckingham Nicks. Mick Fleetwood, the previous day, posted video to his social media of him listening to the same song and saying, I quote, "It's all in the song. It's in the music that played on for so many years. It's magic then, magic now. What a thrill," end quote. So, while everybody's out there going, oh, it's going to be a Fleetwood Mac reunion, or, you know, I mean, I'm almost thinking, I originally I thought, well, maybe those two are getting together to finally do another album together. I knew they did an album. I thought it had actually been released on CD. But on the 40th anniversary in 2013, Lindsey wanted to release it then as a 40th anniversary on CD. Finally get it out, you know, it's probably digital. Didn't happen. Well, last year would have been what, the 50th? Wait, 50th or 60th? 50th, right? Yeah, 50th. Duh. You're 50, Scott. You're in your 50s now. Fuck. This is what happens when you get old, kids. You forget. The years all start crumbling together. You're like, what? No, I'm just joking. But yeah, so I'm guessing that we are gonna have a finally release that first album by Lindsey and Stevie from 1973. At least I know in 2013, Lindsey did say there was at least, or 2006, Lindsey said there was one song that was unreleased that could be added to it as a bonus track. Hopefully by now they've gone back and found a lot of the original master tapes and we're able to maybe even put more songs together. Forever 25 round, Tina. Exactly. You know, the thing is, I may be in my 50s, but I'm still 16. Oh, gosh. My body says I can't do it, but my mind says I can do stuff, and then I go try to do it. Like, oh God, no, I can't. But I think we're gonna see is a final release, a release of that original album. Maybe, hopefully, maybe they'll get together and they'll maybe record 3 or 4 new songs. Because again, we're in 2025. Hardly anyone really does real albums anymore. It's like, oh, here we got 2 new songs. Let's just throw them out there because, here we are. We really reverted back to the '60s, the '50s and '60s, where you released a bunch of 45s first, and then they took all those 45s and jam packed them on an album. It's kind of weird how it used to be. And then, 70s and 80s, or mid, or I guess it would be early 60s, 63, Beach Boys and Beatles and stuff like that. They were literally releasing albums where they would only have 1 or 2 singles off that album. And of course, the 70s the same way. And then get us in the 80s, we're like all about. I remember when cassette singles came out, I would buy one here or there, but I would always buy the album. I know I got a couple CD singles too. Again, the same thing. Usually you can get those like free at a record store, or sometimes you get it free from a radio station, or, especially if they're doing something downtown, like in Reno or whatnot. So, and then you gotta go pick up the CD anyway. So it was no big deal to me. That's why I was so pissed off at Metallica, but they pulled it on with Napster back in 99, 2000. Because like, hey, I want to hear your new song, but I'll go buy the album too. I mean, I got no issue. Anyway, so that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're finally going to see that album released. Buckingham Nicks. Like I said, I know it was a commercial failure originally, but I think now it won't be because of the fact of who they are. We know how good they are, and I think it's going to have some really good songs on it. Just to give you an idea, I know a few of the songs have been released already. We're looking back real quick. I know, Stevie released the song Long Distance Winner on her Enchanted box set. And then the song Stephanie turned up on a promotional only CD released by Buckingham entitled Words of Music, a Retrospective. So Crystal was actually re-recorded and revamped by Fleetwood Mac. Don't Let Me Down Again was re-recorded by Fleetwood Mac for their 1980 live album. Along with also Frozen Love was on that same 1980 live album. So a few of the songs have been out there, but I want to hear the original release. I guess one thing you have to figure out what the hell is going on in 73 to make it a commercial failure, or just people weren't warmed up to it. But anyways, and again, this is one of those nights where Kim's working. It's late night for Nicole, and I'm just like, I really want to go live because we haven't done a live show in forever. And I was like, man, I miss my peeps, miss my people, miss everybody. Like I said, Friday afternoon, sometime between 2 or 3, once me and Kim actually figure out what time we got married on Friday, July 25th, 2014, which July 25th this year is on a Friday, I think, right? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? July, 25th is this Friday. So once we figured out what time we were actually married, Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Daylight Time, that's when we're going live. We're going to do an 11-year anniversary special. Just me and Kim, just rock and rolling, talking about what I've introduced her to musically that she didn't have a chance to maybe get to hear back in the 80s growing up. Champagne, nah, dude, we're drinking beer. We don't drink champagne. We drink beer around here, or Fireball. Hey, Kim.
Yes, dear.
Are we drinking beer or Fireball?
That's still
Oh, you haven't decided yet? Oh, God, I'm in trouble. But yeah, no. So, so I'm surprised she hasn't ridden my ass yet today. Because technically, let's see, where am I? To give you an idea, besides the New Arizona. Audible. I am currently chapter 1 at the start of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe at the dedication part. That's where I'm at in this book. I don't know where book club is. So, uh, I've been listening to like a lot of my podcasts. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears. Spencer, might want to plug your ears. Right here is where I'm going to talk a little bit about racing. 2311, the NASCAR team owned by Denny Hamlin, who currently drives the number 11 car for uh, Joe Gibbs Racing, who just won at Dover this last weekend, and his co-owner Michael Jordan. I don't know, y'all might know him. He was he was. I think he was a baseball player. I think that's what he's really famous for, is being a baseball player. Just joking. Michael Jordan, 23, played for the Chicago Bulls. I was waiting for Nicole to start ripping my head off in the chat. But no, he played for Chicago Bulls, went to school in North Carolina, huge NASCAR fan his whole life. Anyways, they bought charter teams, started a team of their own called 2311. They are right now no longer charter teams. And thanks, Uvaldo. Thanks for backing me up on that. Yeah, this is like you know, this is like New England Patriots. You know, they're part of the cricket league. I don't mean you can hear me with all the fans down in the bedroom and the fact that the AC just kicked back on. Oh gosh, otherwise she's screaming down the hall. Yeah, about it. But anyways, they have been in a lawsuit against NASCAR for a while, or pretty much this whole season. They got NASCAR won their injunction where the teams front row, and 2311 cannot run as chartered cars this year. So now they are running as open cars. And what that really means is they have to qualify every race. If if there's 41 cars, 42 cars show up, well, they don't get to, and they only take the top 40. Well, they're not in the top 40 of times, and they don't get to compete. However, and I bring this up because I just saw this earlier today. Kim doesn't know about this yet. Otherwise, she'd probably have more to bitch about NASCAR. Huh, Kim?
Know about what?
Nothing. I gotta find Jeff Gluck real quick. Excuse me. Yes, I'm using Twitter. No, I've not unlocked it. Unlock my notifications. Oh, well, real quick. Brickyard 400 this Sunday at Indianapolis on July 27th, 2 p.m. Eastern. The Grand Marshal for the Brickyard 400 NASCAR race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway will be the one, the only Cookie Monster. All right. NASCAR changed the rule book. Other than charter teams, acceptance of any entry is a sole discretion of NASCAR. That's E. Letter F says NASCAR, at its sole discretion, may elect to limit the number of entries for a race to 40. In such instances, open teams will be determined based on the team owner point standings. What? So instead of worrying about 2311 making the show or front row, they've now said, oh, well, hey, because if some other team shows up and they're the 41st team, we're going to allow all your guys' cars in before we allow this new team. Pretty much what it says. So they pretty much just guaranteed 2311 and front row to have a starting position in the races. Honestly, I know I pulled a Travis Kelsey there. What? Oh, um, yeah. And Yabal will probably back me up. He might back me up on this. But if anybody that watched this sport back in the 80s and 90s, remember the time when even the great Dale Earnhardt, if he didn't qualify on speed, could miss a race because he wasn't fast enough. And then we got in this part where, oh, well, we're guaranteeing the top 35 in points can get a starting position, and then we'll give a previous champions provisional, and la da 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 da. And then we got to this charter business where all charter teams were guaranteed a starting spot, which roughly runs about 37 cars right now, 37, 38 cars. And then we're only going to fill a field of 40. Now, back in like the 80s and 90s, we were running 43, almost 43 car fields. Me and Kim have gone back and watched some old school, even cup races from the 80s and stuff. There was actually times where they barely had 30 cars show up. It's like, whoa, what the hell? I didn't realize it. That was crazy. But yeah, so at one point you think, oh well, hey, they're gonna have to qualify, but now they don't have to. I mean, as long as they show up, they're gonna be there. One other thing that happened not after Dover, but after Sonoma, on the official NASCAR YouTube page, they decided to have one of their NASCAR trucks, so not affiliated with a team, actual sanctioning bodies trucks that go from track to track to track to track. They did a live stream. Now you can't find this on YouTube because once they went over the 12-hour mark and didn't start a new one, you lose the stream. Anyways, but from when they left Sonoma to arriving in Dover, they live streamed it. And I lost a lot of sleep because I was like intrigued. One, especially as it kept going on, the drivers started getting more comfortable. They would get, like, when they were washing the windshield or get fueling up or whatnot, they'd get in front of the camera. One old boy, he'd sit there and act like he was mooning the group or mooning the camera. It was hilarious. It was funny. And of course, we're hoping everybody that watched that during that time period, because it was like, let's see, they left Sunday night, and I think they arrived in Dover. So Sonoma is in California, Northern California, just outside the Bay Area. And they arrived in Dover, Delaware on Tuesday night, I think, or Wednesday night. But they had two drivers so they could keep go nonstop. You know, one drove while the other slept, one, vice versa. But it was fun. It was fun to watch because, I mean, like for me, once you get to Sacramento, I've been on I-80 from there into Salt Lake. Actually, I've been on I-80 from Reno to Chicago. So I know I've seen all that. And, going through Reno, that's where I was born, going through Winnemucca's old stomping grounds, especially when you became a kid, you drove 53 miles to go to a bigger town where they had a theater. And then after that, an hour, let alone 53 miles east of Winnemucca is Battle Mountain, where both me and Kim grew up. And then 73 miles east of there is Elko, where I lived at one point. Kim lived there at one point. Currently, my daughter and son Coley both live there. But yeah, and my grandkids are there, and Mikey's there. And yeah, and then of course, when I lived in West Wendover for a bit, when I worked over there, then Salt Lake, then cross the state line into, I think, Wyoming, and then cross the freedom, the plains across the tornado belt. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool to watch. I mean, I enjoyed it. But yeah, other than that, that's what we've been up to. Watching racing. Formula One comes back this weekend, I think. I know we haven't done our racing podcast forever. Sorry. We thought we were going to actually start a whole new channel. just do that. It just didn't happen. Worrying about the AC and stuff like that. A lot of things, when we were supposed to get these Patreon videos going that we wanted to get going, we haven't done it yet. But then again, May became a, Yabal knows this, but May became a shit month for me and Kim. Literally, the sewer here screwed up. It took a month for them to get it fixed. And yeah, so it's one of those things. It's like, it's like I keep telling Kim that song by Clint Black that they used in the movie Maverick with Mel Gibson, James Garner, and Jodie Foster. A good run of bad luck, you know. you know. Or also the line, it also the other line, if I didn't have bad luck, I had no luck at all, type thing. It just seems like every time we think we're getting somewhere, things are starting to get on the brighter side of life. Something smacks us right back down. But anyways, neither here nor there. But yeah, right, brother. Uvaldo, yep, crazy plum when it doesn't work. And you had the same problem, yeah. Yep. Gotta love the plumbing. But other than that, back to the beginning. Let's talk a little bit about Ozzy's last performances. Of course, I didn't pay the $30, $40, what the hell it was for the live stream. One, because it was an 11-hour show. I think we had things going on that weekend, and you only had 48 hours to watch it. So luckily for me, both of Ozzy's main performances, him with his solo band with Zakk Wylde back on stage with him, and then of course him with Black Sabbath, have both been put up on YouTube. I've had a chance to watch them both. Again, I get it why they're short. I mean, the whole show, the whole day was over 11 hours long. A friend of ours who lives over in Mesa, he actually had a friend that he works with who actually got tickets, flew over to Birmingham to go to it. I didn't get a chance. I haven't talked to him yet to find out what his friend thought about the live experience, being there live. But what I did see of it was really good. Ozzy really choked up during the song "Mama, I'm Coming Home." Makes sense, as is his final performance. At least we'll see. And then on Black Sabbath back on stage, all four original members. It was great. It was perfect. It was I think it was a perfect bookend to a wonderful career. The fact that Ozzy started with Black Sabbath, moved on to a solo career, had a great solo career, come back to Black Sabbath, release another album of Black Sabbath 13 a few years ago, and now ends his touring career, not only with his solo band, but also Black Sabbath. And I loved it. I mean, I thought it was really great. It was really cool. It was really cool. However, that is coming to theaters in 2026. I understand it's going to be a cut down version. Hopefully what they mean by cut down version is maybe not all the opening acts or all the acts before, and just Ozzy and Black Sabbath, portion of it. However, if it does come to Blu-ray, CD, or even vinyl, I hope they release it the full show. Let the whole thing go. All the proceeds go to the charities that they had up. I think it'd be a great idea. Hopefully they do it. I mean, an album vinyl record of that would be pretty expensive, but hey, it is what it is. To sit there and say you got the final live album of Ozzy Osbourne, who wouldn't want that? I mean, I would. And I think my wife would pretty much beat the living hell out of me if I passed up on it, regardless of the cost. Sorry. But other than that, we're in July. mid or almost end of July, almost to the 1st of August, which means college football and preseason NFL return. Also, I know we're getting closer to Stranger Things season 5. And yes, Tina, yep. When it rains, it does pour. Ubaldo, one of the greatest careers I'm glad to be part of. Oh, exactly, brother. Same here, man. Man, what it was definitely a great career. I mean, holy moly. You know, uh, I laugh. Okay, the reason why I laugh is the first time I saw anything to do with Ozzy Osbourne was a little grocery store in Battle Mountain, and they had an LP, "Speak of the Devil," on there, and that's the one where he's got his mouth open, it's like red meat or whatever the hell coming out of it, or whatever the hell he used, right? And I was like, dude, what the? And this is like just before I got into hard rock, heavy metal. I didn't know who Ozzy was at the time, and I was like, okay, that's weird, and I didn't buy it. Of course, now I wish I would have bought it, but I got into Ozzy. A friend, an older friend of mine, recorded me the song "Bark at the Moon" off the Bark and Moon album, and then another friend of mine got the Ultimate Sin on cassette. I made a copy of it, obviously, because that's what we did in the '80s. Hey, yeah, here's a blank tape. Make me a copy of this, and that's where I fell in love with Ozzy. I really fell in love with Ozzy. And so after that, I've always bought all the albums. I went back, bought, the original albums, Blizzard of Oz, and damn it, Diary of a Madman. Couldn't find Speak of the Devil on CD, but then I eventually got the Ozzy Randy tribute album. Yeah, so I pretty much had them all. And then No More Tears when it came out. And then Osmosis, on and on and on and on. And then as I learned he was originally in Black Sabbath, well, then of course I started going back and finding Black Sabbath music and fall in love with Black Sabbath and realizing, I know a lot of people say they're not the originators of metal, but yeah, screw you. They're my originators of metal. But yeah, football season, Ubaldo. I'm not going to get too excited about football season. Too many off-season moves I'm not happy about. But other than that, let's see what we got coming up. We have nothing coming up. Using these, like I said, me and Kim are going to try to go live on Friday. Kim has been really busy playing the hell out of Dreamlight Valley on her Xbox. I'm sure she's probably playing it right now. I've been playing a little bit of that, but I've also been playing a game called Roadcraft, which is by the makers of SnowRunner, Forza Motorsports again, because they brought Indy cars in. Oh, speaking of which, was it last weekend? Not this last one. I think it was the weekend of Sonoma when IndyCar was out in Iowa. And I saw this come across as a notification. And literally they had a tornado like 3 or 4 or 5 miles away from the track. Like, yep, that's why you don't go to the Midwest in the summertime. Nope. Oh, another thing, I'm sure people in Chicago are happy. The street course will not be back next year in Chicago. According to NASCAR, they're going to try to bring it back in 2026. As far as me and Kim think about it, we hope not. We want them back on Chicagoland. There's a perfect good oval racetrack out in Joliet. Race out there. But yeah. Movie wise, nothing out there right now makes me go, oh, I want to watch this. Nothing. there's nothing making me want to go to the theater. You know, nothing makes me want to go to the theater right now. Matter of fact, I'll be honest with you, y'all. When Mando or Mandalorian and Grogu come out, I don't even think I want to go to that. I don't want to go to the theater, period. But I'm sure I'll have to go because Kim will want to go to see Grogu on the big screen. Oh God, I I can imagine this one. It'd be like when I took my parents after I moved down here, moved to Arizona. I took my parents to see The Force Awakens. We're literally 5 minutes into the movie, and my mom's going, "What's going on?" I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Uh yeah, that's why Uvaldo, I usually go, Uvaldo says too expensive nowadays. I agree with that. That's why we also, when we try to go, we go on matinee. The one thing I will give at least um Harkins here is release weekend. Saturday morning is actually matinee prices. I don't know if that's like a new thing that like they're all doing, or if it's just this Harkins here and or the Harkins company's doing. But I've like when I went even watched Force Awakens, it was literally matinee prices. I have the whole time I've been down here, anything we gone on opening weekend to see has never been full price. I'll pay the cheaper one because I need a cheaper one. I mean, because well, the cheaper one is about the price of what they were 20 years ago. You know, to go see a regular movie on release night. You know, but yeah. Tina says Sawsuit ran twice in theater. We have $5 movies on Tuesdays at Backcast. Nice. That's awesome, Tina. That is awesome. Cinemark has a matinee Tuesday, but usually I'm working right. Yeah, like I said, it's crazy friggin'. I'm like I said, I didn't know nothing about Harkins when I got down here. We got I don't remember what the hell the other one is in town. There's another theater here in town that is downtown. I just remember my sister said, "You want to go see a movie? You want to see it at Harkins because they've got like what 12 to 14 theaters in there. I think it's 12, and it's good seating and whatnot." Right on, Tina. Right on. Right on. My mom used to do that, like when we would go to like the local dirt tracks and stuff in the 80s. My mom we'd stop at a grocery store, pick up candy bars and whatnot, and she'd throw them all in her purse. Oh yeah, I mean concessions is hella, especially at the theater now. It is hella expensive. But yeah, I just there hasn't really been anything that piqued my interest yet. Oh, you don't have Harkins in Virginia where I'm from. Okay, yeah, I mean, well, I mean, you've all bring up Cinemark. That's what I'm used to Cinemark because that's what we had in Nevada, especially in Reno. Um, I think we had Cinemark in Utah. So those are the ones I'm used to. And so when I got down here, it was like, well, my sister said this. So like, okay, go there. You know, and I went, okay. And no, I mean, I'm sure the other place in town is got a good theater experience too. Otherwise, it shouldn't be open if it doesn't. But yeah, right now, like I said, just nothing has really piqued my interest. I mean, everybody knows me and Kim love racing. Even the F1 movie has not drug us out of the house to the theater. I'll wait for it to come on TV. Exactly. You always got it. All right. So what's everybody's What is everybody's go-to candy? I'm trying to think. Um, Mine are, it used to be Milk Duds, but now it's like Junior Mints. The big box of Junior Mints, gotta have it. Love my Junior Mints. What's your go-to theater candy? I think in the 80s we actually had rope, the big long rope licorice. That shit was the go, was the grab. Oh, oh man. AC kicked on again. What's the temp down to? 88 degrees here. Hey, we're at 88. We're gonna go back to the future. Oh man. Yep. So yeah, everybody put in the chat what your go-to theater candy is. What's the one if you go, or even if you grab it, stick it in a purse, what is the one sweet treat you gotta have at the theater? I don't know what Kim's is, but mine's always been it's always been Junior Mints. Or actually, it was Milk Duds in the 80s, but Milk Duds a little harder to eat when you ain't got teeth. You know, like Junior Mints and M&M or M&M's when she's in the theater. Nice, 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 nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. Last time I had M&M's at a theater, try to remember what movie I went and seen. I think it was, no, it wasn't Joe versus. What the fuck was it? It wasn't with Kim. It was back in the 90s. It might have been Joe versus the Volcano. I just remember buying 2 bags of M&Ms, and one of them didn't make it to anybody's mouth because I just started chucking them. Ah, the Gen X and Whoppers. Woo! There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that was another go-to in the 80s. Definitely love the Whoppers. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. See, Whoppers, Junior Mints, M&Ms. I don't know what Kim's is. Definitely licorice back in the day, too. I just remember mom, dad, when we went to the theater when we were growing up, and get the, you know, each kid would get a large bucket of popcorn, a large soda, and we could choose 2 candy, I think. I always looked at my parents, especially when I became a teenager, I'm like, what are you buttering me up for? No, we're not. And usually the next day it was like, all right, we got all these chores to go do now. You need to do it after what we bought you last night. You know, we'll buy some popcorn because I love movies, right? Exactly. Gotta have the movie theater popcorn. I every time I do, I'm just like, yep, there goes my high blood pressure. But gotta have it. It's kind of funny now because like when we go to Harkins, my parents, because I think they got like the loyalty, some type of loyalty cards or something. We get, so like buy one get one free, and then about the same thing with the popcorn. And I like this Harkins here, the one we have here. They also have White Castle. So if you want some White Castle hamburgers, you can get those. There's a few extra things you can get besides the old school normal theater crap. Nice. You have to let me know, Tina, how that is. Fantastic Four. Again, like I said, for me, you know, the funny part is most theaters hold about max 300-400 people, right? I would rather go to a 10-20,000 seat arena for a concert than be in with even 100 people at a theater. I don't know about this, but I'm almost wondering if my thoughts on theaters changed after The Dark Knight. I wonder if that is when because before I used to want to go to theaters. I mean, I saw my brother-in-law took me to see the first Transformers movie in theater. Me and Kim's younger sister, when I was married to her, we went and watched Scream 3 in the theater. Um, we would go a lot. If we had the money, we would go a lot. And I'm just wondering, like, the Dark Knight changed my whole perspective about going to the theater. I do know that when I go into a theater, though, the first thing I am doing, I am looking at where all the exits are at, and where I'm sitting, and how do I get Kim protected before anything. So I would say maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was after Dark Knight. Maybe that really changed my theater going experience because I became a lot more aware of not only the theater, the exits and whatnot, but also people coming in and out. You know. Oh yeah, definitely gotta have extra butter. Definitely gotta have extra butter. Extra butter is definitely life. Yes, I agree. Extra butter all the way. Oh gosh. Well, let's see what we got. Coming up Wednesday. We got the Escape Pod. I have no idea what Don and Brady and them talking about. Last week they had Dave or Don Brady and Dragon Buddy. I don't know what they're doing this week, but I know last week they had on Dave from the Sidebar Cantina. They spoke about Bobbyverse, Bullaverse. I don't remember. It's some book. Um, oh gosh, I think I looked it up. It's on Audible. I know that. I do remember that. I think I put it in my wish list. Let me find my wish list. Where's my damn wish list at? Um, Not listening history. What the hell? Jeez Louise. Can't find nothing on here. Audio purchases audio wish list. Made it says for we are many. Yeah, Bobbyverse. Yeah, I put the whole series in my deal. There you go. Tina, right on. We are Legion. We are Bob. Yeah, I need to listen to these. I know Dave was talking about. It's true, Tina. People are fucking crazy these days. But then again, we were kind of crazy too back in our day. I mean, we just don't have. There's not a lot of video to prove this shit we did. Oh God. Oh Lord, oh thank God we didn't have cell phones back then. We would have all been in trouble. But yeah. So Bobbyverse, my bad. Um, I know Dave and Jason said tonight that next week they're going to be talking 50th anniversary of Jaws. And of course, Jaws is definitely important to the Star Wars fans because without Jaws, Steven Spielberg doesn't tell George Lucas about John Williams. And without John Williams, Star Wars changes. It becomes something completely different. So yeah, so that'll be fun. 50th anniversary of Jaws. I need to find it. See if I can watch it streaming so I can. It's been a while since I've seen your OG Jaws. Usually when I'm watching. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to bounce around real quick. When I watch any Jaws now, I know it's one of the Jaws and Superman movie that I watch the most are the two hated ones the most. Jaws 3D. I love that movie for some fucking reason. It's probably because of Dennis Quaid, Louis Gossett Jr. Those guys make that movie great. And then for Superman, the one I always watch the most is Superman 3 with Richard Pryor. I think it's because of that video game at the end of it when they got the supercomputer, because that eventually became part that some of that was actually part of the video game that came out at the time in the arcade. So yeah. But yeah, Jaws definitely stay out of the water, folks. Um, yeah, Jaws is good. I I don't know if Kim has ever seen it. I'll have to find out. Um, I need to find out if she's ever watched the original Piranha from the 70s. I watched that when I was like 10. Went out to a friend's house to stay the night, and his parents didn't give a shit what kind of movies they watched. They had a satellite dish. You know, back in the 80s, the satellite dish, you have to have anything unscrambled. So they just automatically turned the dish to HBO, and there was this movie called Piranha. Yeah, the original Piranha movie. Not the one that was remade a few years, or about what, probably 10 years ago now. But with that being said, trying to think anything musically that I know of coming up. Not really. Been listening to a lot of 80s, listening to a lot of 90s. Just, you know, just jamming, you know, mainly a lot of it on YouTube, because a lot of it with the YouTube is giving me the music videos. Some of the videos I hadn't seen in 40 fucking years. So, yeah. Other than that, we gotta get with Nicole, find out when me, her, and Kim can get hooked up and do a show together. Yeah, it was, wasn't it, Tina? That original Piranha was awesome. Hell, I remember watching the original friggin' about 10 or 11, watching the original Alien movie too, going, what the fuck is this? But yeah, so yeah. Of course, you know, Sundays, Scott is going to be watching some type of racing until football season comes back. And then it'll be football and racing. Kim usually has to work, but she also will, will turn her TV on, put it on the streaming app for Spectrum. Then I come out here, get the DVR set up, turn it over to the channel, and then I find a spot where I can pause, and then I literally watch down the hall where her TV is to watch her TV at the same spot, and then hit play. So that way our TVs are lined up, so she's getting all the talking points and all the moments where they're talking about Rex or whatnot. She can see it happen too. At the same time, I'm seeing it happen. Yeah, we're going to try to be on Friday afternoon to celebrate our 11th anniversary. And then, well, I mean, I guess I can show these off. I didn't really show nothing off from that we got new. I'm trying to think, I only got a lot of stuff new, but bought these for Kim. Christmas shoes, Christmas blessing, and Christmas hope. Stuff she likes, so, you know, gotta hook her up. Yeah. Hey, HBO was great. That's where I saw American Werewolf in London. You know, over at friends. I love how like all the R-rated movies. When I was younger, I saw them all over at friends' houses. I never once saw them at my house, at my parents' house, because rated R movie, come on, you gotta go to bed. What? No, I want to see this movie. Nope, you're not old enough. Really? Yeah, look at my friends hooked me up. At least the cool friends, the coolest friends, parents who didn't give a shit. Mainly they weren't home, and they would record everything on VHS, and yeah, it was good. Got to watch a lot of shit I shouldn't have watched. Police Academy, Revenge of the Nerds, Porky's, a lot of TNA. With that being said, again, we're happy to be part of the ATSW family. Also, we're proud to be a part of the Red 5 Network. I'm trying to remember everything. Like I said, this Wednesday, ATSW the Escape Pod. I don't remember what the hell they're doing, but tune in Wednesday for some major shenanigans. You know, Don, Brady, and DB are bringing it. And if they happen to be doing a live gaming night where I don't remember what game, I think they're playing Balderdash. If it's one of those nights, then they add in Lunar Girl, and that shit gets crazy too. Also, Friday nights, Tina might actually be able to help me on this one. Friday nights is the normally the is Red 5, oh shit, Tavern. God damn. I just brain farted big time. I'm not sure where they're at, if they got campaigns going on. If not, search out Red 5 Tavern, watch all their previous stuff. There's many shenanigans going on that show. Yeah. They're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Believe me, you'll have a time of your life watching, even rewatching those shows. But if they got if they're doing in a current campaign, then they'll be live. And again, a lot of it depends on what me and Kim got going on, or if there's a Friday night race or whatnot. But usually it depends on what the hell we got going on. And then usually by the time I remember it, or we're watching something, and all of a sudden I'll go back to YouTube and like, oh look, Tavern's been on for 3 hours. Like, fuck, I missed it. So yeah, that's my bad. I need to get back into watching. But like I said, between 2 or 3 Pacific time, me and Kim should be live on Friday. Again, Dave and Jason always on most of the time on Mondays, roughly about 5:30 p.m. Eastern, over at the Sidebar Cantina. Again, next week is Jaws 50th anniversary. God, with that being said, I want to thank our Patreons real quick. Patrons, obviously, Luna Girl and Dragon Buddy. They have been there since the very beginning, since we ever started Patreon, and we really appreciate them. Of course, Nick from Backyard TARDIS is there. And then my daughter, my son-in-law, Mikey, and our grandkids, Case and Brenly. We want to thank them for supporting the show. I do plan on doing some cassettes, going through my old. It is planned. I've got to dig out my headphones, but it will happen. Kim has got to get back on the the ball, watching her shows and writing her syllabus to give to Yabaldo. But other than that, with that being said, it's Monday night. I hope everybody has a great week. It is Monday, but it don't always have to be dog shit. Have a great week, a great weekend. As always, be kind to everyone. And I'm going to try to do all this shit because I got some new stuff on here I can play with. So we're going to try to play with it. How about that? And with that being said, until next time, I'm Scott. She's Kim back there working. Nicole was in the chat, probably asleep now. We are used and abused. Have a great night. Again, a great week, great weekend. Be kind to everyone. Peace.